Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and Samsung just announced their all-new folding phones this year, along with some updates to their watches, and I think there's more here than you might expect. This year, there's 3 folding phones instead of just 2. We have the Galaxy Z Fold 8, the Z Fold 8 Ultra, and the Z Flip 8. Now the Z Fold 8 is the one that many people have been anticipating. This will probably be my choice this year for a folding phone, as I just like the overall feel of it, and it has a 5.5-inch 10:16 aspect ratio for the cover display, but the inside is a 7.6-inch 4:3 aspect display. Both displays, thankfully, are 120 Hz and go up to 3000 nits of brightness. Now the good thing is the crease is barely there, and you can't see it really at all when the display is on. It also has a new anti-reflective coating on the inner display, so it makes it a little bit better. It's not as good as maybe the S26 Ultra's anti-reflective display, but it is better than the outer display. Now build-wise, it feels good in the hands, it feels quite solid, and it will be a little tough for most people to reach from edge to edge with your hands and just use it one-handed, but I really like this wide form factor that we have. It's nice and light, it's at 201 grams, and just feels very durable. It uses the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, it has 12 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs if you get the 1TB option. It also has a 4800 mAh battery, good for 26 hours of video playback on the main inner display, and supports 45-watt fast charging and 20-watt wireless charging. On the back, it has dual 50-megapixel cameras with a wide and ultra-wide. It also has some new features such as My Fan Cam that allows you to record video in a wide aspect ratio and then make vertical content by selecting a subject you want to track, and then it puts the video together all by itself. There's a few other features here with Document Scanner opening on its own, and more that I'll show in depth in the unboxing video. The device is also super thin. You can see from here at the side, definitely impressive as far as the overall thinness, and again, it feels very durable. Now when it comes to the Z Fold 8 Ultra, they've now added the Ultra name on top of it, and so we have the Z Fold 8 Ultra, and the regular one is the wide one. Now it also has the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and this year it's slimmer than before, stronger, and has a better hinge with a nicer opening and closing experience. Again, it has increased durability. The crease is less noticeable, and we also have that anti-reflective display on the inner display, and it also goes up to 3000 nits of brightness. Now with the cameras this year, it of course still has the same camera layout, but it has a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and that also means that 8K video is more flexible and can go across a couple of lenses this time, so you can switch between the main and ultra-wide lenses for 8K video. It has a 5000 mAh battery, again with the same 45-watt wired charging and 20-watt wireless charging, and when it comes to software, it now has Now Nudge in the keyboard and also a Gemini notebook update. Again, we'll go over that in depth in the unboxing and overview video. But there's some nice upgrades here. Again, not huge, but definitely thinner, and it's hard to appreciate until you get your hands on it. Now with this phone compared with the new Z Fold 8, you can obviously see the different aspect ratios, and we can compare them top to bottom and show you the same video of mine playing at the same time to give you an idea of what it looks like if maybe you're consuming content like YouTube. So you'll see it's definitely a different form factor, maybe better if you're reading a book, for example, and just again, I actually prefer the ultra-wide sort of style 4:3 display, but this is my preference. Not everyone will like it as much, but I really like it. It just doesn't have a telephoto zoom lens. Now the Z Flip 8 gets an update this year as well. It comes in a new pink color and is also thinner and lighter at just 6.1 millimeters. It's also 180 grams. Now the hinge is more durable, and the biggest change is it uses the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 CPU, again with 12 gigs of RAM. So that's a nice bump up over the previous generation CPUs, and it also has a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, which also features the super steady horizontal lock that was introduced with the S26 Ultra. So it's got that same feature built into the camera this year. The outside flex window is probably the biggest update as far as visual changes throughout the software. It gets a redesign with a new app and can also open many normal apps this time around on the outer display. You also get 112 new cards on the flex window, or you can actually just create your own using natural language, such as maybe a pollen level indicator in the morning if you want to see that every morning. Maybe you have allergies, you want to know what the pollen is like it's very intense where I live, and it will just let you know every morning in a little card and let you know what's going on. So very great update there. Again, not as big as maybe the other ones. Of course, that Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is great with upgraded RAM and much more. So some nice upgrades here. Again, my favorite is the ultrawide. Now Samsung is also updating their watches this year. The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 is the big update there, where we now have a 25% lighter watch. It's also 1.4 millimeters thinner, and the bands are thinner and lighter and softer as well. It now uses a Snapdragon Wear Elite CPU that's 32% faster. It also has improved GPS and tracking. Now, the display is also slightly larger on the new Ultra 2 at 1.52 inches, but now goes up to 5,000 nits of brightness. The Ultra 2 also features a new trail run feature measuring climbing progress, elevation data, and even guides you on hydration based on an algorithm on how much you should need for the difficulty of the trail. Later, you'll be able to use it for diving as well, up to 40 meters. The battery is also larger this time around at 800 milliamp hours, which is 35% better than before, so some big upgrades there, and of course, it's ultra durable. With the Galaxy Watch 9, it has the same form factor as the previous year, but it's now 25% lighter, and also has those upgraded bands, where they're thinner, lighter, and better materials. It goes up to 3,000 nits as far as brightness, has a 390 milliamp hour battery that's 20% better than the previous gen, and also features the Snapdragon Wear Elite. Now, it also has a new health app update. This is sort of across the board, but that health app update is now easier to use and better organized. There's a new Vitals app that views multiple metrics over 7 days and gives you proactive alerts if something is off. There's heart health scores, estimated blood pressure in the USA finally, where we didn't have it before, and it also monitors cardiovascular load throughout the day and gives recovery and workout recommendations. There's also a fitness index based on VO2 max, BMI, heart rate, step counter, and activity time with recommendations to help you meet your goals. It also finally includes Raise to Talk, so you can speak to Gemini to control music, check messages, and manage schedules. So those are all the major announcements with Samsung Unpacked this year, the new folding phones, but again, my favorite is the Z Fold 8. I just really like this form factor. It's super thin, feels very durable, very tough, and hopefully the battery life is very good. We'll have to, of course, test this out over the next couple of weeks. Once again, I'll have a separate video about unboxing it, setting it up, going over all the details, and then I'll have a review once I use it. But let me know which one you like best out of the announcements today. And of course, if you're planning to pick up any, I'll have links in the description below so you can check them out and get all of the latest deals from Samsung as well. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.